How we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts here, and today I'm going to be talking about UFC São Paulo, Almeida vs. Lewis, my thoughts on the card as a whole, and what's next for most winners and losers. Let's get right into it with the most impressive prelim winners. We start with the second prelim winner, Eduarda Moura, in women's strawweight when she finished Montserrat Canelo Ruiz in the second round via ground and pound. Let's look at her stats. 102 of 139 total strikes, 57 of which were significant. 3 of 3 on takedowns, 100% things I saw. Brutal ground attack. Eduarda, whenever she was in a position, she just threw punches whenever she could. It was brutal as fuck. Good takedown entries. She had beautiful takedown entries on Montserrat Canelo Ruiz, and we saw that on the Contender Series, and she's continuing to develop this takedown entry game that she has. Huge size advantage, but she's got to make weight. Eduarda missed weight by, I think, 3 pounds. You got to be able to shave the extra pounds off Eduarda. I'm going to pair Eduarda with Diana Belbita, who lost to Karolina Kowalkiewicz last month. Fight should be good. We go to the next winner, Angela Hill, who beat Denise Gomes by unanimous decision. Let's look at her stats. 96 of 153 total strikes, 76 of which were significant. 5 of 9 on takedown attempts, things I saw. Good usage of 1s and 2s and good cardio. Angela was throwing 1s and 2s almost the entire fight until the last half of round 2 and round 3 when she just started butt-fucking Denise Gomes. Like I have written down, dominant on the ground, was better than Denise in almost every exchange that they had. Denise did land some hard punches in the first round and a little bit of the second, but after that it was pretty much all over. Angela did have spotty defense at times, like I did say. Denise did land some, solid strikes. I'm going to pair Angela Hill up with Karolina Kowalkiewicz, who coming off the win over Diana Belbita in her last fight. Angela, I think, is 12, and Karolina's 11 or 10, I believe. They've never fought, which is kind of surprising to me, so run this shit up. We go to the next winner, Vitor Petrino, who absolutely murdered Modestas Bukauskas in the second round with a left hook. Jesus Christ, let's look at his stats. 1 knockdown, 14 of 34 total strikes, 8 of which were significant, 1 of 2 on takedown attempts, things I saw. Good kicks, powerful kicks, legs and body mostly. I think he threw 1 head kick that was blocked by Modestas, but he landed some solid leg kicks and some body kicks, mostly with his right leg. He likes to wing that bitch out there. Good defense plus patience. Vitor's defense on the feet is actually pretty solid. I think Modestas landed like 8 punches the entire fight. It was bananas. Vitor was very patient. He wasn't winging shots like in his earlier performances where he just throws to throw. Vitor utilized his jab more often. In his other fights, he just usually threw a bunch of random shit. This time he actually settled down, threw a couple jabs, and then launched in with the good takedowns. I have good takedown defense written down there. Read that as takedown entries, alright? He fucking tripped him in the clinch and then slammed him on his back. Good control on the ground. Vitor controlled the shit out of Modestas on the ground, and the Brazilian left hook. There weren't a lot of negatives I saw about Vitor. He reacted weird to some punches, though, which is a bit alarming, but I don't know. I'm going to pair Vitor up with Dominic Reyes. Don't ask any questions. Let's murder this man and put him out of the UFC. We have made it to the start of the main card, and we start with Elvis Brenner, who might have murdered Kainan with that fucking punch. Holy shit. Let's look at his stats. 1 knockdown, 16 to 33 total slashing with strikes, things I saw. Elvis is a dog. He's such a dog, man. Good counters on rushing attacks, nice leg kicks, and he's powerful as fuck. Keywords to describe Elvis Brenner. It was a damn near perfect performance. He was clipping him with counters the entire time. Kainan kept rushing in, and he finally clipped him. I'm going to pair Elvis Brenner up with Jai Herbert. Knock this goofy fucker out, please, Elvis. We move to the loser, Kainan Khrushchevsky, who got knocked out in the first round. Holy shit. Let's look at his stats. 8 of 31 total significant strikes, things I saw. Kainan had good pressure and a decent jab, I guess. Kainan was mostly pressuring the entire fight, but he was kind of rushing in, leaving major holes in his defense. Huge reaction to punches. Some punches, Elvis wouldn't even land that hard, and fucking his whole body would shake. He was like, ah! He rushed in with his hands down. Got doinked. I'm going to pair Kainan up with Mark Jacasey, who also won on this card against Caio Fernandez. We go to the next winner, which was Caio Borralho, as he beat Abuspian Magomedov by unanimous decision. Let's look at his stats. 1 knockdown, 70 of 126 total strikes, 51 of which were significant, 0 of 1 on takedown attempts, things I saw. Good jab. Caio established his jab in round 2 and 3, which led to him pressuring Abuspian more, which is what I have labeled right under a good pressure late. Caio was getting pressured early. Later on in the fight, Caio started to pressure Abuspian a lot more. Caio's cardio was withering compared to fucking Abuspian. He looked like Colby Covington in this fight compared to fucking Abus. He didn't need the ground. Kaio shot one takedown maybe in the first round and it got stuffed, and Kaio was like, I don't need that shit, I'll just box your face off. Kaio went for the finish in the third round, which is something that you don't actually see Kaio do a lot. Kaio usually tries to just, stay steady, other than the Michael Oleksiejczuk fight, which shows that Kaio is starting to feel himself more in the octagon, which is good. Spotty first round for a little bit. Like I said, I think Abuspian won the first round on 2 of the 3 judges, or all 3 judges' scorecards. But after that, Kaio was just dominant. I want to pair Kaio Borralho up with Jack the Joker Hermanson, who's ranked number 9 right now, but hasn't fought in over a fucking year. Kaio Borralho is, I think, 5-0 in the UFC now. He deserves a ranked spot, and I feel like Jack Hermanson hasn't fought in a while. He hasn't fought since the Roman Dolidze loss. Give it to Kaio. We move on to the loser, Abuspian Magomedov, who lost by unanimous decision. Let's look at his stats. 39 of 110 total / significant strikes. Things I saw. Good takedown defense in the first round. He literally stuffed one takedown, and after that, Kaio never shot ever again. Nice work on the feet in the first. After that, it was a humongous drop-off. 1s and 2s were nice, I guess, and his gas tank is still trash. He gives up yet again. Is Abuspian Magomedov a fraud? I'm going to say yes. He had that 17-second cool knockout at UFC London over Dustin Stolfus. They immediately throw him in with Sean Strickland. He gets beat by Sean Strickland. They throw him in with Kaio Borralho, and he gets beat again. And I think he quit again. In that third round, it looked like he was trying to quit. I don't call any fighters quitters, but that was strange to me. I'm going to pair him up with Roman Kopylov, make him quit again. We move to the next winner, Rodrigo Nascimento, who beat Don'Tale Mayes by unanimous decision. Let's look at his stats. 91 of 180 total strikes, 70 of which were significant, 0 of 3 on takedown attempts, things I saw. Rodrigo had good pressure against the fence, controlling the fence, big shots against the fence, good clinch work. Matt cardio. Boring. He definitely did dominate Don'Tale Mayes once again. He didn't get the finish this time around because Don'Tale Mayes was just throwing a bunch of random shit. I'm going to pair Rodrigo Nascimento with Alexander Romanov, who I think is 2 spots ahead of him because Rodrigo reclaimed that number 15 spot. I think it just makes sense for the rankings. Alexander Romanov was once deemed as like a huge prospect, and then he dropped, I think, 3 in a row or some shit like that. Makes sense rankings wise. We go to the loser, Don'Tale Mayes, who of course lost by unanimous decision. Let's look at his stats. 105 of 190 total strikes, 79 of which were significant, 0 of 1 on takedown attempts, things I saw. Don'Tale Mayes' kicks were in full effect yet again. Most of them he threw haphazardly because he was tired, but they still looked pretty cool at heavyweight. Don'Tale did good work in space. Whenever he was pressed against the cage, he kind of just like was throwing random shit, but in space he actually did land some decent shots. He got pressured heavily a lot though, and 8 big shots trying to throw back. I'm going to pair Don'Tale Mayes up with Junior Tafa, who's coming off the Parker Porter knockout. 2 unranked heavyweights. Who would have thunk? We go to the winner of the co-main event, Nicholas fucking Dalby. Holy shit, what an upset. Let's look at his stats. 1 knockdown, 64 of 128 total strikes, 53 of which were significant, 0 of 1 on takedown attempts, things I saw. Nicholas Dalby's chin was on full effect tonight. Or Saturday, I'm recording this on Friday. Nicholas ate every single shot that Gabriel offered him. Whether it was a leg kick, whether it was a body kick, whether it was just punches in the phone booth, Nicholas ate every single fucking shot. It was insane. Nicholas had great work along the fence. Nicholas knew that he wasn't succeeding out in the pocket, so he had to push that motherfucker against the fence and just start beating his face in. With good pressure, knees, he broke Gabriel Bonfim. In Gabriel Bonfim's 3rd fight in the UFC, he already got broken by Nicholas Dalby. Holy shit. I'm actually like, I picked Gabriel Bonfim. He's a confident pick, but I'm actually kind of geeked that fucking Nicholas Dalby won. That's so fucking cool. I love Nicholas Dalby. I'm going to pair Nicholas Dalby up with Eliezer Zaleski dos Santos, who had the draw with Rinat Fakhretdinov. Realistically, you should probably give Rinat Fakhretdinov the fight, but I'm actually going to give it to Eliezer because technically was the only person in that fight to win on a scorecard. Eliezer won on that one scorecard that was 29-28, which was kind of crazy to me. But yeah, I don't know. It's wild. We move to the loser, Gabriel Bonfim, who got TKO'd in the 2nd round. I just realized it says round number 1. Let's look at his stats. 47 of 103 total strikes, 39 of which were significant, 3 of 5 on takedown attempts, 1 sub-attempt, things I saw. Leg kicks and body kicks from Gabriel Bonfim were on fire. 1s and 2s were slinging in the pocket. Holy shit, Gabriel Bonfim was just throwing wild shit. Gabriel Bonfim had good control on the ground in the first round where he held Nicholas Dalby down for about 2 minutes, and then in the second round he got a takedown that he started to do some stuff with, but after that it was kind of downhill. Gabriel's gas tank is a problem that he needs to work on, but that's what happens when you submit everybody in the first round. Stopped trying to move, which allowed Nicholas Dalby to unleash knees to his face. I'm going to pair Gabriel Bonfim up with Carlston Harris, who is coming off that one crazy comeback submission win over Jeremiah Wells. Should be a good one. We move to the winner of the main event, Jailton Almeida. Let's look at his stats. 120 of 153 total strikes, 38 of which were significant, 6 of 15 on takedown attempts, 4 sub-attempts, things I saw. Great way to control on the ground. 21 minutes of control time is the highest amount in a heavyweight fight, and it belongs to Jailton Almeida. Decent ground and pound when he actually wanted to deal damage. Jailton usually likes to throw some punches on the ground. In this fight, he was like, no, I don't think I will. And everyone was like, but please make the fight somewhat entertaining. And he was like, oh, no, I don't think I will. His stand-up had some improvements. In the first round, he actually clipped Derek Lewis with like a right hook, I believe. That kind of stumbled Derek for a little bit, and then he shot on him. Gas tank is a question mark, because he was able to control really well, but, he slowed down. I'm going to pair Jailton Almeida up with Curtis Blades. Rebook this fight. Don't give Jailton Almeida Cyril Gane. He doesn't deserve it after a performance like that against Derek Lewis on short notice. I really want to see this fight. I want to see how Jailton does against a big, big boy like Curtis Blades. We go to the loser of the main event, Derek Lewis. Let's look at his stats. 28 of 54 total strikes, 20 of which were significant, 0 of 2 on takedown attempts, things I saw. Had good ground and pound at moments, like that one point where Jailton slid off Derek's back and Derek just started winging shots at him. That was pretty cool. Good defense off his back. Jailton didn't land anything too crazy significant and also didn't get submitted. Good way to minimize damage. Takedown defense was inconsistent. He had good moments and then just absolutely horrendous moments. Got controlled a shit ton. Balls are still hot. Get him and Jairzinho Rozenstruik in a cage, please. I'm UFC Thoughts, and these have been my UFC São Paulo, Almeida vs. Lewis, Afterthoughts, what's next for most winners and losers, and yeah, this card was pretty weird. There were some really brutal knockouts, like Elvis Brenner and Vitor Petrino, but then there were some, snooze fests, which, you're bound to get, but there were an excess amount on this card. I'm uploading this right now as I was too busy this weekend, or this week rather, sorry about that. The UFC 295 picks and breakdown will also come out probably a bit later, probably 4 or 5 is when I'm going to release that. I still got to do the research for it. Yeah, I'll see you guys in Madison Square Garden. Peace.